And then we are also very fortunate that we have your God siblings and hence Prabhupada's disciples with us here. Because when they come to the assembly, they bring and add their own effulgence. So we are talking about Kanka Mataji, who is going to share some of her thoughts with you. I personally look forward to having Kanka Mataji in the class. She usually sits in the back, and when it's reflection times, I can hear her beautiful musical voice, sharing her realizations, and it's always amazing how she's able to carry everything back to Prabhupada. Most of us know that she's a nurse, and we had the good fortune of being at the Dham with her earlier this year. And most people don't know, and she kind of shared just fairly recently, is that she's an expert seamstress. So she stitches. And she used to do a lot of stitches for the deities. And she did mention that in some of the pictures you see a blue cushion. Some of pictures of Prabhupada you see a blue cushion. So that was made by Kanka Mataji.
Happy Vyasa Puja. Here we are again this year, another year. Wow. I have to pinch myself each time. I can't even believe that I am getting the association of Vaisesika Prabhu and Nirakula and this ISV family. Every time I'm going to come to the temple, I pray to Radha Madan Mohan, please allow me to come, because I just feel like I'm so unworthy to be here, but I'm so fortunate and so grateful that I get to be here. So thank you so much for all that you've done for me. Your classes are totally inspiring, and today and listening to all the offerings was just like so wonderful. So thank you. I don't want to take too much time. I just feel so grateful and appreciative. Your friendship and all that you guys do for me. Otherwise, I'll start crying. Hi, Bo.
Thank you so much, Kanka Mataji. Coming up next is Akunatha Prabhu. He joined the Prabhupada movement, and then later on he went to become a lawyer. And I say that every year because, and I'll say it again this year, Akunatha Prabhu is a lawyer with a heart. It's very difficult to find such a person there. He loves book distribution. And he spends, a lot of time, and I remember Santa Cruz was his pet place where he used to go and distribute a lot of books. He likes to preach, and I had the good fortune of attending his classes when he used to teach the Saturday morning Bhagavatam class. And it was always, for me especially, since I was new to Krishna consciousness and I was dabbling in the other world also, that how Akunatha Prabhu always used to go and connect what was being said in the Bhagavatam to what Aristotle said, or Socrates said, or Pluto said, and then he'll come back and say, but Krishna said it right. So that was his verdict all the time. And he plays the guitar, and he didn't bring it today. Oh. And he taught playing ukulele to little Jayashri over here. I don't know how he managed to do all that with he's a practicing lawyer. And also, he is the copy editor for our Kirtan party newsletter. So if you haven't subscribed for that, make sure that you subscribe. Preeti Radhika is sitting at the back. She can help you join. I also noticed that he has a very vivid memory, and he's very well read. He reads a lot of scriptures, and sometimes Maharaj, you ask him some question or bring quotes from this, that, and that places, and well, he's a lawyer, you know that. And I am really amazed with your sharp memory. I remember you were teaching us how to memorize verses, and I did take heed, and I got a few under my belt, but not as many. So thank you so much, Akunatha Prabhu. Let's give a big hand.
Jai, Hare Krishna. It's your 60th birthday this time. That's quite a milestone. So I want to also reflect or reiterate what Kanka said, how nice it is to hear the realizations of so many of Vaisesika's disciples and Srila Prabhupada's grand disciples. And I want to share some realizations, even though they may be kind of commonplace, they're worth mentioning. And one thing is the first verse of the Guru Vashtakam, that the spiritual master is receiving benedictions from the ocean of mercy like a cloud and then distributing them and putting out the blazing fire of material existence in the material. And we see that quality so much in you, Vaisesika, that you're not only distributing instructions from Prabhupada's books to all those who listen to your lectures, but also distributing Prabhupada's books, like just raining down Prabhupada's books and organizing the book distribution of Srila Prabhupada's books, so that people can get the mercy that Srila Prabhupada has also extracted from Lord Krishna's instructions. And so I was thinking about the importance of the spiritual master, and how in the science of bhakti yoga, one who wants to actually make progress and make one's life perfect has to take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master and receive instructions and training in how to execute devotional service to Krishna from a bona fide spiritual master. It's not only that we get the benefit of getting the realizations and training from an experienced devotee who can show us how to do everything, but we also get the service to the Vapu, which is important, that we may offer prayers and do worship the deity, but unless we're very advanced, we don't see the deity or hear the response or the reaction that we get. But just like sitting here talking to Vaisesika, I feel it's more personal, that there's a reaction from Krishna's bona fide representative, a devotee who's taken seriously, advanced in devotional service. But my realization was something else about the institution of parampara in the material world, that aside from being what we need to actually learn how to serve Krishna, it demonstrates that it's practical, that Krishna has his mission in the world, that he's advancing through generation after generation of disciples who actually become masters, who become successful. And I don't know much about Christianity, but I know I used to distribute books in the Bible. And I remember one time I was in Louisville, Kentucky at a street light passing out Back to Godheads, and I showed a picture of Narada Muni, and I said, "Oh, this is a great saint." And the evangelical Christians said, "We don't believe in saints. There are no saints. Everyone has fallen short of the glory of God, and nobody can be perfect. We can just be forgiven." And it's among certain Christians anyway, it's become almost a philosophy that a human being can't achieve anything like perfection. And I know the spiritual master, is humble and thinks of himself. We always hear the songs of the great devotees, how they think of themselves, "I'm not perfect, I'm just a servant of the servant." But that we see that the mission of the Lord is going through the world, that it actually works, like they say in the 12-step programs, when people have trouble with addiction to substances like alcohol and things, they say, the program works if you work it. And we can see that, Srila Prabhupada has disciples who have been working the program, who've been practicing Krishna consciousness and who are successful at it, and we can become successful at it. And that's a very important thing in this world, that we don't have this nobody can do it. You know, we have a philosophy that follow those who are doing it well and learn how to do it so that we can go back to home, back to Godhead, in following their footsteps. So I want to thank you, Vaisesika Prabhu, for giving me this opportunity to see, you know, really, not many of Srila Prabhupada's disciples have become so successful in the practice in the science of Krishna consciousness, and to see the devotees like yourself and others who are doing it is a great inspiration and a source of inspiration to me. And I'm just so glad to have gotten benediction from the Ocean of Mercy, from you, to be in your association, hear your instructions, and see your preaching, how you're carrying on Srila Prabhupada's desires so expertly. And I feel very, very fortunate. And I feel that idea of service to the Vapu, it's like, you know, you see these pictures of, you know, Krishna in Dwarka or something like that, and Narada Muni is there talking to King Yudhishthira or whatever. I love these chairs sitting here. But we have an idea like we're in the association of a devotee who's a representative of Krishna, so it gives us an experience of what it's like to be in a transcendental relationship with a transcendental person, and learn how to become devotees, like Ramananda Saka was saying so movingly, that someday I'll learn how to chant Krishna with the proper heart and incessantly and day and night. It's good to know that we have that here in ISV and that this is going on. So those are my realizations, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Akunatha Prabhu. Okay, so Mayapur Bihari Prabhu is saying, if everybody could move 7 inches forward. Extremely organized. This Prabhupada disciple, Jagrini Mataji, everything she does is first class, and she knows which property to invest in. Because Krishna says that if you build a temple here for me, I will build a house for you over there. So this beautiful temple, the beautiful altar, the door, the beautiful Prabhupada asan, the pictures, paintings that you see on the wall, they are a result of Jagrini Mataji's hard labor. I had the opportunity to assist her for in a very small role when she was recently planning a birthday party for our dear Nirakla Mataji. And as I saw her, you know, meditate and plan and do things for Nirakla Mataji, they were so full of love for your God sister that you are actually an example for us that how we should behave. And so, and also remember that when I first came to ISV, Jagrini Mataji literally, you know, took me under her warmth and love. So I really, you know, appreciate your doing that for me. Let's give a big hand to Jagrini Mataji.
Not fair to make me cry before I start. Vaisesika Prabhu, happy 60th birthday. Wow, we are old. I think it's really nice to have these opportunities, just like for Srila Prabhupada, to have days where we could actually sit and just meditate on the good qualities of each other. It's really a sweet experience, leading up to all the service and all of this. So in thinking about you and all your wonderful qualities, and knowing you for so many years, and how you started, and your dedication, you're a total example of the results of following Srila Prabhupada's example, just being very devoted and steadfast and focused and following Prabhupada's example. So you've attained success in devotional service. Of course, there's always more to get. It's never ending, but you've attained success as a leader, not just at our temple with all of us, but also within the movement, a significant leader within the movement. I don't know if all of you are aware, but if you mention Vaisesika's name to anybody in this movement, it's immediately followed with a smile. The reception is always, and some wonderful thing is said about you, which is a real accomplishment. So I was thinking how you attained that from your hard work and steadiness, and with that comes fame and notoriety and prestige. You're well known, so noblesse oblige, right? That's an expression that means with nobility comes obligation. And you've been expert at fulfilling that obligation, which is the second half of it, because we've seen so many devotees in the past that can reach a certain level of success in Krishna consciousness, and then the trappings of that success can cause them to, again, need more lessons, fall back into the hard knocks, the school of hard knocks. But you've always been really, really careful to not let that happen. And the secret, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is that you, it's like you don't care about any of that. You just care about pleasing Prabhupada and helping ISKCON and just helping all the devotees. It's kind of who you are. It's who you always were as a young man, and it's who you are now. So you really set the bar high and set the example in caring for your disciples, in dealing with your godbrothers, and famously for caring about all the conditioned souls that you've dedicated your life to do book distribution. So here I am, extremely grateful, able to express it once again, for your example, for your leadership, which is practical, innovative, and relevant, your friendship, and your contribution to ISKCON, reviving book distribution. And also I noticed more recently in my travels, I would consider it like a virus, like sometimes the body is a little bit sick. I think there's a little virus sometimes in our movement. It's closet Rickism. I noticed a lot of senior devotees even are affected by this virus, that they're feeling that because of the past, because of some mistakes possibly, or because we were immature and rushed into things, not quite knowing how to do it correctly, that they are hesitant to accept or believe that it can work this way. But we know that Srila Prabhupada wanted it this way. We know it's in Shastra, it's backed by Shastra, you can't change that. And you're a real example of that working well. Because Srila Prabhupada said you judge a thing by the results. And I think that across the board, the results of your actions and your caring for your disciples are just 100% to their benefit. So today, I just wanted to express my gratitude for all of that, and most of all, just for your association. Like just being around you. It's like you make us smile, you make us happy. When you're not around us, we miss you. It's like we really want to with you. So I had a recent conversation last week with one of your godbrothers, one of my godbrothers, Vaisesika Prabhu, because I'm working on the altar with him. And he brought up a few things about difficulties he was having. And then he said, but not with Vaish. He said, Vaish is like sunshine. So, and that's, everybody thinks like that. So we're super fortunate. We're super fortunate to be in this, on this team with you. So please always stay healthy, always stay strong, and don't ever change.
Thank you so much, Jagrini Mataji.
Oh my God. Wow. Well, I have no speech prepared, but here I am. Spent some time the last week looking at pictures of my brother from the past, and so I've definitely been thinking about growing up with William. And the thought occurred to me, what would it have been like not to have my little brother? That is strange, because he is very important to me. We did things together. We were two of four siblings, but the two older ones were pretty much a generation ahead of us. So I think my sister was in college. You were even in school, or maybe you were. So when we were youngest, we had, it was a family of 6, and later on it sort of turned into a family of 4. So Will and I spent a lot of time together. We had a lot of mutual friends. What I cherished the most was when our family would get in the car and go on vacation. We did a lot of camping, and we did a lot of exploring, and I think we saw a lot of really beautiful things in the world together. Early on, there was one vacation to the Grand Canyon, which still my older brother and sister it was our whole family together, and it was, looking back now, it was an amazing thing. I always have a fondness just for the Southwest and the Grand Canyon, and I think a lot of it came just from all of us being there, experiencing it together. anyway, my brother was a good companion. He was, when we were getting along, anyway. Yeah, actually, it wasn't that bad. No, but we had a share of wrestling matches and fights, and I considered him a little brat some of the time. But ultimately, he was a great companion, and as you know, he's always been funny. He's always made anyone around him laugh. I think early on, because we were close enough in age that we shared friends. My older friends would take to him, and sometimes they'd come over, and I actually came to see. Oh, hi, Tom. Is Will there? So I had a bit of jealousy at times, but, you know, I had to admire that. He was very likable, and I certainly enjoyed him and was entertained. I think we did a lot of growing up together. And here we are. This is amazing. So I really don't know what more to say other than I love you, and I believe in you, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
It's a great surprise to have you here. And thinking back to how all the pieces of our life fit together and how we end up here at this time is always amazing to connect the dots backwards. But I'm always grateful for all the hand you've had in my life and the encouragement you've always given me. Thomas is a professional musician. Maybe we'll get him to play something later. Thank you, Tom. You made my day. Hare Krishna.
Actually, Tom, since morning we have been counting our blessings for having William, or Vaisesika as we call him, in our lives. And we were counting blessings that we have disciples here with us. And this was a complete, like a lottery, the jackpot that we hit to have you here. Thank you so much for making time and to come and grace this occasion. We are very, very happy. And Nirakla Mataji, the next thing coming up is our Vedic Academy. So I don't know what to say about the Vedic Academy. The teachers are wonderful. They dedicate so much of our time, and through their dedication, actually, they are shaping the future of our movement. I wouldn't say much because I know they're ready to go. And prataksham kim pramanam. So let's see. Let the fun begin.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. We're so happy to be here to do our little dedicated performance for you. And thank you so much, Tom Prabhu, for coming. We have Gopinath Kids start the performance, and then we will have Madan Mohan and Kaishwara Kids. So these are all kids from the Sunday school, different groups.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. The Gopinath kids are 6 to 8 years old, and what they are going to do today is talk about 26 qualities of a pure devotee of Lord. So each one has picked up 1 or 2 qualities, and they are going to speak to it. So maybe we can, so first, you're not the first. You can go there and stand.
A great devotee is clean and simple. A great devotee is mild, peaceful, and humble. A great devotee is friendly and faultless. A great devotee does not eat more than required and is grave. A great devotee is equal to everyone, charitable, and without material possession. A great devotee is benevolent and completely attached to Krishna. A great devotee is meek, steady, and self-controlled. A great devotee is sane, respectful, and grave. A great devotee is compassionate and fixed in the absolute truth. Haribol! A good devotee is always kind and doesn't fight with anyone. A great devotee is an expert and has no material hankering. Our dear Vaisesika Prabhu has all these qualities and is a great devotee of the Lord. Vaisesika Prabhu ki jai.
You're going to go back, go and sit there. Go and sit there. Sit there. Go sit and sit. Sit and sit. This is Madan Mohan class.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Madan Mohan class is going to present one of your favorite bhajans, Nachre Amar Man.
Doya Nitai Chaitanya bole nache amar man. Doya Nitai Chaitanya bole nache amar man. 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 Hey! Nache amar man. Nache amar man. Nache amar man. Doya Nitai Chaitanya bole nache amar man. Doya Nitai Chaitanya bole nache amar man. Doya to na hai. Doya to na hai. Iman doya to na hai. Mar ke prema de. Iman doya to na hai. Mar ke prema de. Doya Chaitanya bole nache amar man. Nache amar man. Nache amar man. nache al man, nache al man, hey. Nache al man, nache al man, nache al man. Ora nitai Chaitanya bole, nache al man. Oya nitai Chaitanya bole, nache al man. Ore apara dure jabe pabe premadan. Ore apara dure jabe pabe premadan. Vichar to na hai, vichar to na hai, vichar to na hai, vichar to na hai. Oh naame aparad vichar to na hai, oh naame aparad vichar to na hai. Doyal nitai Chaitanya bole nache amar man. Doyal nitai Chaitanya bole nache amar man. Nache amar man, nache amar man, nache amar man, nache amar man, hey. Nache amar man, nache amar man, nache amar man, nache amar man. Doyal nitai Chaitanya bole amar man. Doyal nitai Chaitanya bole nache amar man. Takon Krishna name ruchi have guchi bebandan. Takon Krishna name ruchi have guchi bebandan. Anurato habe hai, anurato habe hai, anurato habe hai, anurato habe hai. Krishna name anurato habe hai, Krishna name anurato habe hai. Nitai Chaitanya bole anurato habe hai. Nitai Chaitanya bole nache amar man, 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 hey. Nache amar man, nache amar man, nache amar man, nache. Nitai Chaitanya bole nache amar man. Nitai Chaitanya bole nache amar man. Tako nanaya se safal have jivera jivan. 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 Jivan to miche hai, jivan to miche hai, jivan to miche hai, jivan to miche hai. Krishna rati veena jivan to miche hai, Krishna rati veena jivan to miche hai. Krishna rati veena jivan to miche hai, Krishna rati veena jivan to miche hai. Nitai Chaitanya bole nache amar man. Doyal nitai Chaitanya bole nache amar man. Doyal nitai Chaitanya bole nache amar man. Nache amar man, nache amar man, nache amar man, nache amar man, hey. Nache amar man, nache amar man, nache amar man, nache amar man. Doyal nitai Chaitanya bole nache amar man. Doyal nitai Chaitanya bole nache amar man. Ishe Vrindavane Radha Shyame pabe darshan. Ishe Vrindavane Radha Shyame pabe darshan. Ishe Vrindavane Radha Shyame pabe darshan. Ishe Vrindavane Radha Shyame Gora kripa hole hai, 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 Gora kripa hole hai. Doyal nitai Chaitanya bole nache amar man. Doyal nitai Chaitanya bole nache amar man. Doyal nitai Chaitanya bole nache amar man. Doyal nitai Chaitanya दोयालिता चैतन्य बोले नाच रे आलमन
Everybody sit there. Line up and sit there.
Our next group is Kaishara kids, who are from 12 to 16. And these kids actually perform in the old age homes and the band that they've been practicing. So please encourage them. And they will be playing all the kartals, mridangas, and the harmonium by themselves. And a big haribol to Ananya Radhika Mataji for doing it. We also have a nice surprise for Prabhu. We actually the together an iMovie, Life in Pictures. So we'll have the play. May I request Tom Prabhu? Thank you so much for giving us those pictures. And also, I also want to thank Nirakula Mataji for all the beautiful pictures that so we can turn around. We're going to start with the song. We're just making sure it's working. We want to have it full screen, Prabhu, full screen. And the kids are just getting ready to, kids are getting ready to.
Gita Vaditya Marjan Manasora Sena Mahaprabhu Ananitya Gita Vaditya Marjan Manasora Sena Romanchakam Parsutaranga Bhajo Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Shri Vigrahara Dana Nitya Nana Shringara Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Shri Bhagavad Prasado Swadana Tripta Navibhakta Sangan Ritvaya Triptim Bhajata Sadaiva Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Shri Radhika Madhavayorapara Madhurya Leela Gunarupanam Pratikshana Svadanalolupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Nikunjayo no Radhike Dai Yayali Biru Tirapekshaniya Gatradidaksha Dadivalabhasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Chaturvedam Samasta Shastir Yuktastada Bhavadeva Sadbhi Kintu Prabhorya Priyeva Tasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Yasya prasadat Bhagavat prasado Yasya prasadat Nagadi kutopi Nyayam stuvam stasya Yasya stri sandhyam Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam 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 Krishna Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
This beautiful card is made by Aparupa Radhika Mataji and the kids at Vedic Academy.
Hare
That was amazing, and I think we haven't clapped enough for the kids. And kids' teachers. So Maharaj, it looks like our surprises are going to continue. Actually, they started from last night when we came to know it was a surprise offering, didn't make it to your book, but it's from your godbrother, His Grace Apurva Das Prabhu. And Madhukari Prabhu is going to read it, but before I ask him to come up here, I would request Nirakla Mataji to first come and tell us about him. Let's give a big hand.
Apurva and Apurva Prabhu and Kamalini Prabhu, many of you know, and they are very friends. Apurva is known for being a wonderful cook, and Kamalini, who actually grew up the street from Bhaktivatsal and I, she's known for her book distribution. She's been doing it for decades. And so they're very dear friends. And Apurva Prabhu hand wrote an offering and sent it with Madhukari Prabhu. So he's going to read that now.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. So these are Apurva Prabhu's maple cashew rice crispy treats that he sent with Ananda Murari Prabhu. And so when I was in Denver a couple days ago, he gave me this note and asked me to read it to you in this assembly. Okay. Hare Krishna, my dear God brother Vaisesika Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. On this very special day of your appearance, I want to thank you for your awesome contribution to the devotees, ISKCON, and the world. I feel so blessed to have spent some time as a brahmachari in your association and now as a grihasta. You have added so much value to my devotional life you can't imagine, and I consider you one of my Shiksha gurus. You are always available on Sound Bhakti, and your new book, which has given me so much inspiration to go out on book distribution. I also get your special mercy of your association through your dear and sweet disciples who I see throughout the year as I travel. Your commitment to Srila Prabhupada, his mission, and distribution of his books has me in awe. You are a most amazing inspiration that by following this process of sadhana bhakti through hearing and chanting, a very nonsense, lusty rascal as myself can possibly become a servant of a servant of a servant and serve the Vaishnavas. Thank you for your open-hearted, generous, and kind association of being approachable, friendly, and encouraging my wife and I in our efforts to engage in some service. Please give us your mercy that we may again be in your association and possibly serve you in some way. Please pray for us to again be fully absorbed and engaged in the service of Sri Sri Radha Govinda, where we may get your darshan again. Thank you for all of your encouragement, mercy, and quote-unquote brotherly love that is overflowing with each breath and word you speak as you guide us closer and closer to the lotus feet of Sri Guru and Gauranga. I know on this day, Srila Prabhupada is smiling on you as you bring more devotees to his lotus feet. Your life and association give me so much inspiration that this process works and deepens forever more my love for Srila Prabhupada, his books, his mission, and his followers. May Lord Krishna bless you with a great and healthy life of many years to be with us in distributing his mercy in the Kali Yuga, praying to get your darshan and take prasad with you in the not too distant future, your most lowly god brother, trying to get the dust of your lotus feet, Apurva Das Adhikari.
Jai. Thank you so much, Madhukari Prabhu, for reading and then bringing this over and making it an even more special day. One quick small thing. Meet Kamal Kant Acharya Prabhu and Anand Murari Prabhu backstage. So on every Vyasa Puja of yours, Maharaj, we look at you through the eyes of your disciples, aspiring disciples, friends and well-wishers and God siblings. And of course today we looked through the eyes of your brother as well. And there's one moment that we always wait very eagerly, and that is to look at you through the eyes of your beloved wife, Nirakla Mataji. We feel so blessed to have Nirakla Mataji in our life, and actually you two together set such a wonderful example of how Grihastha should behave. And I remember last year, Nirakla Mataji and I were sitting in her car outside my home, and I just asked her that, Mataji, how do you do so much for Guru Maharaj? And the demands keep on increasing as the movement progresses. And she replied in a very short, simple answer. She said, I love him. Her love is palpable in everything she does for you, taking care of all aspects of your life. And even so, since I'm involved in the Vyasa Puja celebrations, I'm amazed at how much into detail she goes into looking after each and every detail, the menu, the invitation, the books, whether you like this, whether you not like that. And it is just, amazing, and we feel so very fortunate to have you. And I think every congregation would agree to that we have been recipient of your causeless mercy, your compassion, and on your love. And on the glorious occasion of Vaisesika Prabhu, your beloved husband's Vyasa Puja, we pray that please keep us under your shelter. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nirakla.
Thank you, Shraddha. It's actually me who feels very fortunate to be a part of this community and to be the recipient of so much love and affection. And if I do anything, it's just to try to repay love and affection that you show me all. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. My dear husband, please accept my heartfelt obeisances. All glories to our Jagat Guru, Srila Prabhupada. 30 years ago, we were married in New Dwarka in front of the deities, Srila Prabhupada, our friends and family. I felt at the time, and still do, that through the Vaishnavas, Rukmini Dwarkanish personally blessed me by making this arrangement. We committed to one another during a rocky time in ISKCON history, so that we weathered the storms more successfully as a team than we could have individually. As we partnered in our journey together, we knew that we were both committed to the BBT and book distribution, and that we wanted to collaborate in our service to Srila Prabhupada and ISKCON. Basic plans and thoughts as how we might go about maintaining and increasing our service, but in all honesty, I never could have imagined the course our lives have taken. The German writer and statesman Johann W. von Goethe wrote, "Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans." The moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that could never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issues from that decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance, which no man could have dreamed would have come his way. End quote. Years ago, you spoke to Vaisesika Prabhu and others to get a better understanding of what it would take to make the North American BBT healthy again. Once you had that information, you began putting your plan and teams together. You went to the temple president and GBC meetings to solicit their support because, as you know, without the backing of the local leaders, it's difficult to be successful. ISKCON Silicon Valley, Toronto, Denver, Laguna Beach, Los Angeles, Potomac, and Baltimore, to name a few, all came on board and have continued to put their best efforts into increasing book distribution and remittances to the BBT every year. The results have been substantial and spectacular. Everywhere I go, devotees from all over the world tell me that they feel a part of the ISV community because of the live and recorded programs broadcast from our temple studio. They feel like they know us all. They tell me that they listen to your lectures over and over and how much they appreciate the practicality of your realization. It's inspiring to meet these devotees who are part of our online community. There are popular personalities who have become famous by preaching a message of prosperity in the guise of religion or spirituality online and on TV to huge global audiences. It's been your vision to reach as many devotees and non-devotees as possible with whatever medium are available. Your goal is to reach millions with the message of the absolute truth as put forth in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. This is another example of how, following in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada, you are always thinking big. Last year, before you had to step back from your services to finish your book, you started with a plan to delegate and enable a team of devotees to grow into more responsibilities. It was quite successful, and many of them continue with these added responsibilities, flourishing in their new roles. Realizing the importance of succession, when the talents and desire to serve, you empower them according to their propensities. You nurture and train them so that they are prepared to become ISKCON's future leaders. You are proud of their successes, and you support and guide them when they have difficulties. You're probably the well-rounded individual that I know. You're steady, reliable, loyal, and determined. You're curious, and you have a love of learning, which leads you to study many things that get utilized in your service. For you, relaxing is taking a mridanga lesson and then practicing, or being in tending to Tulsi Devi and the other flowers, trees, and vegetables. You continue to do what is necessary to take care of your body in order to maintain the high level of energy needed to do all of your services. Over and over again, I observe how you are able to control how you react to disappointments and circumstances that would upset or anger most people. You handle whatever comes your way with spiritual maturity and integrity. You have an amazing ability to assess another's condition and to consider what's going on in their lives before deciding what to do or not to do according to time, place, and circumstance. You credit these qualities to the fact that as part of your daily sadhana, you steadily read a chapter of Bhagavad Gita and 41 pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. After 43 years, you are still the happiest out in the public distributing Srila Prabhupada. But you aren't limited to this one service. Over the past years, many of our leaders have come to know of your ability to be a fair and trusted mediator. And you've been called upon to help with some of the very delicate and important arbitrations that have been going on in our worldwide movement. Many years ago, when I was having trouble getting a crew to help me with cooking the Rath Yatra feast in LA, you volunteered to come in to cook for 2 days. And now, even though you have so many demands on your time, you still make sure our schedule allows you to come into the kitchen in LA to cook the hot pasta and fried crackers. some of you may have come in the kitchen when we do that, and so Prabhu and Bhaktivatsal and some other devotees, they're in the kitchen cooking the pasta, and then they have to bring it to the kitchen sinks where we cool it down, and it's hot and it's dripping hot water, so that's the mantra they chant, hot pasta. This is a milestone birthday, your 60th, and as you said, we're now running the bell lap in our race back to Godhead. Should we be more renounced? Should we continue and teaching together as a couple? We continue to seek the advice and guidance of our God brothers and God sisters to make sure we're on the right track, pleasing Srila Prabhupada and prepared to reach the goal. I'm blessed to have the good fortune to be married to my best friend. I was okay, right? Still now. The person whose opinion and advice I seek and trust the most. The person I most like to spend my time with, who can make me laugh till my sides ache, and who has promised to take me back to Godhead. My heart swells with love and appreciation for all that you do for me and for Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. I pray that all of your goals and aspirations to serve Srila Prabhupada are fulfilled beyond your highest expectations, and that you have many, many more years of a healthy life to use in his service. Loud.
It was a beautiful day, Maharaj, and we are just halfway through it. There's more to come. But before we go to the next, we'd like to hear something from you, Maharaj, on your...
2-minute break?
Yeah, sure, Maharaj, as long as you like.
2-minute break.
Okay, so while Maharaj is on a break, I will like to just use that time to talk about some logistics. So after Guru Maharaj finishes his speech, then we will have Pad Seva. So for that, we need this entire carpet area to be clear of any living entities on it. There'll be 4 people who will be performing Pad Seva, and then some of us have to stand here. Shamlangi Mataji, Ramananda Sakha Prabhu and I will be standing here because just to make sure we are there to handing over the stuff and things like that. Please do not stand up during the Pad Seva. As a courtesy to others who are there in the room, sit down. If you are at a place from and see, then just turn your head and we'll be projecting everything on the projection board at the back. And then after the Pad Seva, we will have Aarti ceremony. And after that, we will have Pushpanjali, when you'll be able to go and have a one-on-one, darshan of Guru Maharaj. And then follow the grand finale, a wonderful feast that has been prepared by so many of, devotees, friends, Prabhupada disciples. So we'll just wait for a few more minutes for Guru Maharaj to come back. Is it a lost and found? All right, if somebody lost an ankle bell, then please connect with me. I think it must be one of the kids. Mukharvinda Prabhu, wherever you are, please come up.
Jaya Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jannaballa Girivardhari Gopi Jannaballa Girivardhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Jashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jannaballabha Girivardhari Gopi Jannaballabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Jashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Janatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Stotarashta Shishi Charanaravindra Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Stotarashta Shishimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavindra Ki Jai. Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Gaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gokopinath Shamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki. Shri Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki. Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki. Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki. Jamuna Devi Ki. Sambheda Bhaktavinda Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande Haribo. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadahmayam Dadati Swa Padantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Sahitam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitanscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Go Premanande. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here with all of you. These occasions when we can all come together have a marked effect on our collective consciousness and individually as well. I thank my brother Tom for coming here. I was thinking about how important you've been in my life. One thing you may not know is that because I looked up to you so much, one night I went into your room and I found a book inside there. It was called Be Here Now. And I figured if Tom's reading this book, it's important. So I started reading and then I couldn't stop reading. It was the first book I read about that had some ideas that we're not our body. There's something beyond the lower energy of the material world. Why are we suffering? The reason, material desire and so forth. I don't know if you know, have your room, but you were the catalyst because of that. And This parampara and worship of the process of devotional service coming from Krishna is a way in which we vote for our value system. As Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, there are lower and higher energies. The lower energy is defined as earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego. All of those things can be empirically analyzed. And a realm which is higher than that energy, he says, aparayamitas tonyam prakritim vidimi param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam daryate jagat. That beyond this lower energy of the material elements that he's named, there's spiritual energy, which is the amazing aspect of this world. As he says later on in the Bhagavad Gita, that there is the energy of the soul. And there's also the super soul, the super consciousness. And that's what's maintaining this whole material world. And that there's a power to the lower energy, Maya. Krishna says, Daivahi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya viye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. It's very difficult to overcome the illusory material energy. As Devamrita Swami said recently at a lecture at Stanford, that one can be into the mass consensual trance provided by the illusory energy. But there's the concept of avatar, which means that the Supreme Personality of Godhead comes from a realm beyond our experience, our imagination, and reveals himself within this realm and makes himself known, especially through his representatives and especially through the Shastra, books like the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and there are other many scriptures of the world that give an inkling that there's something beyond this material world. And for those we've noticed who become inspired by those agents, the material world, no matter how cherished it seemed to have been, suddenly seems insignificant, as it is in comparison to the higher energy. We know that the disciples of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are described by Srinivasa Acharya when he says, Tyakvaturna Mashesha Mandalapati Shrenim Sada Tuchavat. Although they were wealthy and had great influence, after meeting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and hearing transcendental knowledge, they gave up everything that they had as insignificant. I remember in my life when I felt such an urge after reading some of the Bhagavad Gita. Tom is smiling because he knows that when I was in high school, I suddenly did an about face and I gave away all my stuff. And then I stopped wearing shoes or caring about the outside world. Is that true, or am I imagining this? It's true. And although people thought I was suicidal, coaches at school wondered what heck happened to me all of a sudden, and I felt completely justified in what I was doing and happy because I had come in contact with transcendental knowledge. And the more I accumulated it, the more I read and the more I had my own personal experience, the more I felt that I was on the right track. I not only felt it, but I knew it. It was self-evident knowledge. And that knowledge comes purposefully to this world. It has a life of its own. Krishna has an idea of what the whole material world is for fact, the Srimad Bhagavatam describes this as Shristi Lila. It's the Lord's way of giving an opportunity for everyone to do as they wish. On one side, one can cultivate as much comfort in the material world as one can muster, or one can decide to extricate oneself from the material realm altogether. And this is all made possible by Krishna, as we say, Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinobandho Jagatpate. He's very kind and merciful, and he extends himself. So one of the significant ways that he extends himself is through the parampara, system of disciplic succession. One teacher after another over many generations comes to present this knowledge in practical ways. That is through speaking, assimilating the language of the Shastra, and then re-speaking it. There's great power in language. Language, according to the Vedas, exists before the creation. And even in the great scriptures of the world, like the Bible, there's the idea that in the beginning, God spoke, and he said, let there be light, and there was light. And even in our own, we speak, we create. There's the old saying, your word is your bond. And I think even legally, Akunatha, isn't it? There's certain things you can say, and then you're held to it. I know even Bill Clinton, when he was being interviewed by the government a while back, was very careful about his words, and he answered one question by saying, it depends what your definition of is. Because he was very much aware of the fact that if he made the wrong statement on the record, that he would be held accountable for it. And the words that come from the higher realm, which are the scriptures of the Shastra, and they enter into this world, and then they enter into the hearts of those who are practicing them, become the light of this world. And this is known as the tradition of parampara, that one person after another imbibes, it means to drink, drinks in that sound through the ears, and then becomes transformed, and then makes it available to the next, like a relay, one to the next in parampara. And Prabhupada emphasized this again and again, that there's a responsibility in this. In fact, one quote that particularly struck me was where Prabhupada in 1972 said to an audience, so we have got this message from Krishna, from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, from the 6 Goswamis, later on Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, and we are trying our bit also to distribute this knowledge. Now 10th, 11th, 12th. My Guru Maharaj is 10th from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I am 11th. And then he said, you are 12th. He was speaking to his disciples. Then he said, so distribute this knowledge. People are suffering. And now you're, most of you, the 13th. 13th. How does that feel? It feels like a burden. Ability. When someone names you 12th or 13th and then says, now you have a responsibility, please distribute it to others. There's a lot in that instruction. And in fact, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said, Jare Daka Tahe Kaha Krishna Upadesh Amar Guru Hanatare. He ordered everyone, take this burden on your head. And this is the burden of parampara. Interestingly, everyone has to bear some burden in this world. At every moment, we're feeling the weight of gravity on us. We're feeling the weight of time, or the enervating effects of time. And if we don't take a burden for the sake of spreading transcendental knowledge, we'll carry some other burden nonetheless. It's inevitable, because that's our existential situation. However, those who voluntarily take a burden to spread transcendental knowledge, to imbibe the language of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, to experience for themselves that it is categorically different sound vibration than any other sounds in this world, and then arrange their lives in such a way that they can not only take it regularly but to give it to others, then begin to feel a burden of love, a great burden of love, which is to live one's life strictly in line with the process given by the acharyas, in such a way that one can be a perfect recipient of this transcendental sound vibration, and to do one's utmost to give it to as many people as possible in the world. And this is the miracle of what Srila Prabhupada brought, as it was given to him through the great acharyas and from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. And he's made it available to the world, as Prabhupada speaks in his purport in the second canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, that the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is a manifestation of his internal potency. And it is by that potency that one can come to see Krishna's face, which means that it's an open order that anyone can take up from the parampara and simply feel the urgency and voluntarily take the burden, 12th, 13th, to pass on transcendental knowledge, to become sober about one's responsibility of being a perfect conduit to pass it on. It's not that it simply can be passed on willy-nilly. In fact, in the Vedic culture, there's a way in which brahmanas have to grow up in a pure environment. The circumstances have to be so that they can be perfect conduits for the Vedic knowledge. In this age, Kali Yuga, such environment is not readily available, or perhaps not available at all, says the Shastra. However, Kiratu Nandra Pulinda Pulkash Yavana Kasadaya Yene Chapapa Yadapashraya Shaya Shudyanti Tasmai Pravavishnevi Namaha. Shukadev Goswami says in the Srimad Bhagavatam that doesn't matter what class you're from, if you come in contact with pure spiritual knowledge. One Bhagavatam set? Congratulations. Please turn your cell phones on and put the volume up, because Bir Krishna Maharaj is going to enforce the rule that if your phone goes off, then you have to purchase one Srimad Bhagavatam set for the low price of $150. It's worth it. So it's a responsibility to keep oneself in pristine condition so that one can actually take in the knowledge and then pass it out to others appropriately as much as possible. This is afforded through the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because it's a product of the internal potency. His saying it, his saying, take this up, means that it's altogether possible. It's already within his, the potency is there within his order. And on that basis, Srila Prabhupada invokes the right of anyone to become a bona fide member of the Sampradaya, which means that if you take this burden on yourself, it becomes obvious. It becomes obvious to yourself. Your lower senses will say, wait a minute, what about us? And your higher intelligence, God-given intelligence, especially when it's inspired, the instruction of Shastra will say, no, we have a higher goal. And it's within that acceptance of the higher goal, despite the fact that the lower self is calling out, no, we're part of this world. Let's stay and be comfortable. Even throughout the Vedas, there are many provisions for staying in the material world and becoming comfortable. That's why Krishna says in the second chapter of the Gita, Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunya Bhavarjana, Nirdvanvo Nityasatvasto Niryoga Shema Atmavan. don't be allured by even the Vedas, which give provisions for elevating oneself in the material world to various comfortable positions. Even in fact, categorically, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Abrahma, Bhuvana, Loka, etc., there is no place where you'll find comfort in the material world. So, the tension of responsibility, which is the inheritance of those who take the burden of imbibing the message of the Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and distributing it to others. This tension is the purifying force through which one can advance in spiritual life. Without that, one may miss the boat. Did you ever have that happen? Miss the boat? It's an old saying, but it's not very nice. You're supposed to be somewhere and your alarm clock goes off and you don't hear it, and then you miss everything and you're bleary-eyed. Shastra is saying, don't miss the boat. This is a great opportunity. So that today is a celebration of this principle. This principle of conquering the lower self by the higher self, accepting the higher order, recognizing what it is through a well-reasoned faith, study and experiment on one's own life, and incrementally giving up the lower interests and accepting a higher interest, which is that which is given by Krishna, and especially the order to distribute the world. So, in my own experience, if one simply follows the simple path that I've just outlined very strictly, then Krishna makes all other arrangements. There are myriad ways that my mind wants to complicate every situation and to find something superfluous or something else besides the simple path. But the simple path, although it seems like it may be missing a few bells and whistles, is actually has the potency to take us back home, back to Godhead, if we follow it strictly. And it's not so easy either to follow the simple paths strictly. In my experience throughout this life so far of being connected to this transcendental sound, I've noticed that by giving submissive oral reception to the sound vibration, Krishna makes all arrangements, and he also fulfills all desires, just as he says he will in the Bhagavad Gita, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabdyuktanam yogakshema mahamyaham. He says, if you just absorb your full consciousness in my instruction and mold your lifestyle in this way, ananyas chintayanto mam, without any other consideration, then I'll take care of you. I'll carry what you lack and preserve what you have. On the other hand, trying to make arrangements for myself in this material world is very complex and ultimately leads to frustration and failure, because there's not much that one can do to stave off the powerful forces of karma and time in the material world. So I thank all of you for taking the responsibility to be the 13th, to be named the 13th, to take a burden on your head that I will strictly follow the simple path, and I will do my utmost, use whatever wherewithal I have to help spread the transcendental sound as far and wide as possible. And regarding the service of care of disciples, I had a few thoughts. And one of them is out of gratitude. You make me better. See your joyful surrender to Guru and Krishna, I'm reminded again and again how sweet is the taste of surrender. As I see you becoming spiritually nourished by Shravanam and Kirtanam, my faith in this divine process is verified. As I see you becoming addicted to seva, my desire to increase my own seva increases. Seva means service. As I see you hold fast to the holy names and to your sacred vows while facing the traumas of life, I grow by seeing how Krishna is kindly giving you spiritual intelligence and courage. So I'm deeply indebted to all of you who have come to work together to take in the transcendental sound vibration as your life and soul, and to use your life energy to distribute it to others. And I feel all the more inspired seeing us come together that Krishna is making arrangements for all of us to end up here in a place where we can actually do something together. After all, it's possible that all of us from various parts of the world have ended up here in this little tiny spot in the middle of Silicon Valley with this impetus to hear and chant and spread the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's very unlikely, maybe not at the present time, we may think, oh, it's easy, you just got in an airplane and you find a place to stay and so forth. But in the scheme of things, in the history of the world, it's very unusual. And it's a gathering of those with faith who have come together to make this journey back home, back to Godhead. And I'm utterly grateful to all of you for your dedication to this process. Please feel free to give your whole life to Krishna consciousness. Feel free to completely surrender, because it's the only interesting thing to do in this world. Other people may make a heroic stand against the material energy for some time, but then gradually, like everyone else, they succumb. But those who make the endeavor to render pure service with no expectation of return and imbibe the principles of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, I don't want anything except for service, those devotees actually taste real victory. Real victory. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that those who follow the regulative principles of freedom can attain the complete mercy of Krishna. So continue taking a great stand, heroic stand, the higher self over the lower self, and dedicate yourself to this basic principle of giving mercy to as many people as possible, based on the authority of the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He will never forsake you, and you'll never want for anything in any situation of life if you give yourself completely and fully to the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to take Krishna consciousness seriously and to spread it all over the world. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj, for your inspiring talk. Just wanted to make a few announcements, and I'll also use a few quick minutes to thank a lot of people who helped us in the making of this Vyasa Puja such a success. When we look at the DTs, they look so beautiful. And a big hand to the DT dresser, Hansapriya Mataji, helped by she was helped by Anand Murari Prabhu as well. And also this beautiful decoration, she has arranged that. And she really wants to see the disciples enjoy this beautiful Vyasa Puja day. So every year she comes and tells us that you do your thing, we'll take care of everything. So thank you so much, Mataji. I also like to thank the Vyasa Puja team. It was a team that worked on it this year. Siddhakatha Prabhu, Subarna Gopika Mataji, Nitai Kripa Prabhu, Bhaktin Puja, Bhaktin Geeta, Mukharvinda Prabhu, and Nirakla Mataji, who was our art consultant. She's very good. Special thanks to the shoppers, choppers, cooks and cleaners. The team was led by Bhakt Vatsal Prabhu, Yamuna Mataji, Jagrini Mataji, and Nirakla Mataji. And I know that I'm not doing as good a job as Avantika would have for this. Also, thanks to the broadcasting team of Ramananda Sakar Prabhu and Jay and I, who have been there broadcasting since morning. Devotees who helped set up all the tents and the tables outside late in the night yesterday, and then again came at 5 o'clock in the morning to there. I also wanted to give a special thanks to your brother Tom for making time to be here, and actually you brought alive Guru Maharaj's childhood days for us. So thank you so much for that. A big thanks to about 200 devotees who wrote the offerings, and only 40 were able to present it, but a big thanks to you for doing that. The Kirtaniers and the musicians, Madhukari Das Prabhu, there on harmonium. Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu, who sang the beautiful song. Anand Murari, I think he's at the back. And then Madhuri Pura. And Avantika. And then this is a thanks and anticipation to all of those who were going to help us serve the prasadam and clean up everything later. I also wanted to thank my dear godson sister, Shamlangi Devi Dasi. Come on here, don't hide. I'm so fortunate to have her as my god sister. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj, for that. I think we've exchanged 50,000 text messages trying to organize this. And as the years progress, I'm becoming an expert at dumping things at her. And she's becoming expert at catching them and executing them. So we make a good team that way. Thank all the members who came here, because without you, this wouldn't have been a special day as it is. So let's give a big hand. And I'm sure I'm missing something. When it's a big project, it's a big list, you always miss out something. So if I fail to thank anybody, then I'm doing a generic thanks there. And then last but not the least, Bhagavad Gita says that in this material world, there is always a fault with things. Where there is fire, there will be smoke. So I'm pretty sure that while arranging, organizing, reaching out to you, I might have offended a lot of Vaishnavas. And for that, I sincerely beg your forgiveness. And thank you so much once again for all your support. Few more things, what's lining up for us. One is that we're going to have path seva. So small request for that, we're going to clear this area. And if you're sitting at the back, don't stand up and all crowd over here. Kids especially, I know you love to watch the waterworks. But we'll be broadcasting that, or we'll be projecting that on the projector, so you'll be able to see that very nicely. We will follow that with the Artik. Shamlangi Devidasi is going to perform that, and we'll have our Kirtaniers play here. Madhuri Pura is going to play on the harmonium and mridangam. He'll need a little space there in the middle so that the acoustics come out much better. So just have him squeeze in there. And also, we'll follow that with Pushpanjali, where I know all of you and people have been asking me about to Vaisesika Prabhu and Irakla Mataji, so you'll be able to have a one-on-one darshan. It will be a quick, short one, but you'll be able to spend a few nice moments with them. Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhikaya. So during Pushpanjali, one thing I just wanted to mention was that you would enter, you will be form a line over here, and then we go in this direction, offer Pushpanjali, and then we walk out there. If you want to go out, that's fine, but there'll be Kirtan happening over here, so you can participate in the Kirtan as well. Hansapriya, anything else you wanted me to cover on the logistics purposes? Okay, yeah. As we do in the airlines, parents and the kids get to board first, and then others can wait there. So. Shyamlangi Mataji, are we ready for the Path Seva? Okay.
We also would like to thank Mother Shraddha, who has been tirelessly working hard. You may see the devotees tonight. By the time you get home, you may have already requests for the next year's Vyasa Puja offering. Because she was not going to stop working, so do not be surprised and start thinking from now. Okay, well, next we will have the Pushpanjali, Pada Seva.
Thank you so much.
जब तक स्टेबल नहीं है तब तक वो दूसरा कर ही दो जब तक स्टेबल नहीं है तब दूसरा करिए Yeah. We are doing jungle. We are doing. Huh? Krishna Hare Krishna.
Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Let's try to do it again.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Saradavan Nalalira Loka Tranaya Karunya Gana Gana Tvam Saradavan Nalalira Loka Tranaya Karunya Gana Gana Tvam Sangsara Davan Nalalira Loka Tranaya Karunya Gana Gana Tvam Praptasya Kayana Gunanavasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nritya Gita Badrita Madhyan Manasora Sena
मुझे उल्टा सी समझते हैं नहीं यहाँ पे मुझे बोला
Romancha Kampa Shutaranga Bajo Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Shri Vigrahara Nana Nitya Nana Shringaratan Mandira Majanaro Yuktasya Bhaktam Chana Injatopi Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Chaturvirha Shri Bhagavat Prasado Swarana Triptan Hari Bhakta Sangha Swarana Triptan Krutva Triptim Bhajata Sadaiva Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Shri Radhika Madhavayara Para Madhuya Lila Guna Upanamna Pratikshana Swadana Lelupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Pratikshana Swadana Lelupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Nikunjayuna Ratikeli Sija Yaya Libiyu prekshaniya Ratikeli se jai Yayali bhiyukti prekshaniya Tata Daksha Rativala Bhasha Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindan Sakshadhari Tvena Samasta Shastra Uktastata Pavyata Eva Sadhi Kintu Prabhurya Priya Eva Tasya Vande Guru Shri Charavindam Yasya Prasara Bhagavad Prasaro Yasya Prasara Nagati Kutopi Dhayanstu Stasya Yasastri Sandhyam Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindan 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 Samsara Davanala Loka Pranaya Karunya Ganaganatham Praptasya Kayana Gunanavasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindan Jaya Gurudeva, 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 Jaya Gurudeva. Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Staya Bhutale Shrimate Vaisesika Das Ari Kariti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Vaisesika Dasa Hari Kariti Namine Naharsha Shilaya Narana Sarine Anandite Hriday Tasma Shastra Bhajana Chore Nama Praharsha Abhivarasam Prabhupadanusarine Anandite Hriday Tasma Shastra Jana Chorine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminite Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminite Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadeshatarine Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadeshata Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hey! Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hey! Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva. Oh, hey Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Should I keep singing? Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Gurudev. Nittai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nittai Gaura Haribo. Nittai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nittai Gaura Haribo. Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bo.
Jai Vishupad Paramahamsa Prevrajikacharya Stotarista Shishimada Pai Charanada Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Prevrajikacharya Stotarista Shishimada Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prams Gaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakunda Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki. Shri Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki. Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki. Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki. Jamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki. All glories to some of the devotees. All glories to some of the devotees. All glories to some of the devotees. Gaur Premanande Haribo. Sharira Vijaja Jodendriya Heka Jibe Bele Vishaya Shakare Dharma Jedi Payati Loboy Moisu Dumati Eta Katita Samsare Krishna Bola Doyamor Kori Pare Jihajai Saprasad Anadilo Bahai Shayanamrita Pao Radha Krishna Gunagao Premidako Shri Chaitanya Nihita Paire Ekadina Shantipure Advaita Ragare Tui Prabhu Bojani Bosilo Shakori Asvadana Prabhu Bole Bhakta Gana Esha Krishna Ashvadhilo Heno Shakashvadane Krishna Prema Aise Manne Se Preme Koro Ashvad Jadabudi Parihari Prasada Bojana Kori Hari Hari Bolo Sarvajan Hari Hari Sarva Jai Bhavashare Govinde Nama Pramani Vaishnave Sapa Punyavatam Raja Vishwasuna Vijayat Prasade Sarvadukana Hani Asu Pajayat Prasana Chetasu Yasu
Puripaya Bhagavat Shri Mahaprasada Ki Gopremanande Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Damodar Vamsadari Prabhu has sponsored the feast today of the passing away of his father. Mother. Damodar Vamsadari Prabhu ki Gopremanande Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna